After flying more than 15,000 miles in the past 9 days, President Trump returns from his first overseas trip tonight. Mr. Trump met with dozens of world leaders discussing terrorism, trade, and climate change. He comes home to new questions about a key member of his inner circle and their relations with Russia. Margaret Brennan has been traveling with the president. Last stop, the G7 summit in Taormina, Italy.
I think we hit a home run no matter where we are. We're thrilled to be here right now, and we're getting on that very big plane. We're heading back to Washington and the United States.
President Trump used a visit with U.S. troops at an airbase in Sicily to declare his first foreign trip a victory, pointing to a $110 billion arms deal in Saudi Arabia and pledges of counterterrorism support from partners as his key victories.
We're going to have a lot of strength, and we're going to have a lot of peace.
The president presented himself as a disruptor, not a diplomat. He was the only foreign leader at the G7 summit not to commit to the 2015 Paris climate change agreement. The president tweeted he'd put off that decision for another week. The Trump administration remains deeply divided on the accord, which puts limits on greenhouse gas emissions. America's closest allies, including Japan, Germany, Canada, France, Italy, and the UK, all issued a communique saying the U.S. was, quote, not in a position to join consensus. That frustrated German Chancellor Angela Merkel, who described the discussion as, quote, very difficult, if not to say very dissatisfying. The White House declared the summit unbelievably successful. Diplomats in meetings with Mr. Trump told CBS News that he was very quiet and mainly in a listening mode. Not so on the president's America First trade policy, or at NATO, where the president pushed America's military allies to boost their own spending on defense.
Money is starting to pour in. It's only fair to the United States. We want to be treated fairly. And we're behind NATO all the way, but we want to be treated fairly.
It isn't clear what money President Trump was referring to, as NATO members do not pay the U.S. A question that reporters could not ask Mr. Trump since he skipped the usual presidential press conference typically held at the end of a first foreign trip.
At the end of this nearly 9-day foreign tour, President Trump leaves with apparent cracks in the U.S. alliance with the world's most powerful democracies and touting much closer ties with Saudi Arabia and the Muslim world. Rena?
Margaret, thank you.